How did you meet your co-founder?
Super random.
We are siblings.
Actually, this is like a very funny story.
I'm a solo founder.
I'm actually a solo founder.
I'm actually a solo founder.
We have been friends for a long time.
We met in a really unique way.
We met in college.
So we were together first year of university, and he was running his crypto exchange. So he was trying to get customer, and he literally went to every classmate, tell you have to buy Bitcoin. Not because he was believing in that, but because he needed customers.
Nice. And how long have you been friends before you decided to build together?
3-4 years probably.
Matt and I met when I hired him 10 years ago as an engineer in a first company. So Charmverse is our third company.
I met my co-founders actually at school. One of them while riding the school bus in middle school. And the other lived across the hall from me in my freshman year.
When was school? How long have you guys met each other?
So one of my co-founders I've known for about 13 years. And the other since freshman year, so about 6 or 7 years ago.
I'm actually a solo founder. It works perfectly for me. When I first started a company, I actually had a plan to want to have co-founder, but I kind of just continuously working on my project with a mentality that if I come by someone really great, I will onboard them. But yeah, it just has been me.
My co-founder was actually working with a friend on a separate project. Wasn't working out. They gave me a call and said, hey, can you take a look at this and give us some feedback? I just thought that he was a good person. And after the call, he kind of pinged me and said, hey, do you mind giving, some more feedback on some other stuff? And then we hit it off there. And then, frankly, we kind of went on a couple of dates over the course of a couple of months, played pool, we went and had ice cream, we did the Y Combinator, is this a right fit questions. I got the feeling that he was just a good person. And so that's how we met, and that's how we started to decide this is the thing that we're gonna work on.
How long have you been friends before you decided to build?
I would say probably 3 to 4 months of kind of this eating ice cream, playing pool, before we started to really decide to jump into it.
We were at a Terra hackathon actually, moments before the collapse. And we randomly sat next to each other at hackathon. We were hanging out, talking about how we both used to be degenerate sports gamblers. So just right off the bat, we became pretty good friends. And then we partnered up for the hackathon, won second place, and started thinking about what we wanted to do in the future. And it turns out we had really similar ideas about how we should run a company and how we work together just meshed really well.
All right, awesome. So one of the few success stories of co-founders coming together at hackathons.
Yeah, super random.
I'm a solo founder. I plan to find them by just going over my network. There's a couple of people. It's hard because if they're not crypto curious, it's very hard to convince them to do a crypto startup. So they have to be in the space already. And there's a few. The other strategy I have is just meeting new people all the time and working with them, building side projects on the side, even though I have a startup already.
We met in a really unique way. So my co-founder and I met while I was a founder fellow at South Park Commons. We were both sort of in the very early pre-idea stages of exploration. We didn't have sort of a startup concept or idea. So we just connected as sort of enthusiasts of early technologies, started jamming together, started exploring, and then ended up diving into blockchain and ultimately Ethos together. We have known each other now almost 3 years. We first started ideating not in the blockchain space, but really just around different new technologies and how they could add values to builders and users. Blockchain was something we had both thought about and dug into sort of independently before, but we hadn't gotten into it as sort of a team to start. And the more that we sort of were thinking about different areas of exploration, different problem spaces, different opportunities, the more that technology sort of stood out to us as a really powerful opportunity to create a difference in people's day-to-day lives. Also, a lot of really obvious gaps that we felt really well equipped to solve.
We actually met at a crypto event for the first time. And then afterwards, my current co-founder came to visit Oxford where I live. And we discussed an idea that I was thinking about. And then we just built immediately a hackathon and won at the hackathon. And actually that idea eventually became Caviar. At the time it was called Granular. I'm not proud of the name, but that's what we called it at the time.
How long have you guys been friends before you decided to build?
We've known each other for about 3 months, and then we became quite close quite quickly. He actually came to live where I live.
We met freshman fall in intro econ at Harvard. I had taken some time off, so I thought I would be the weird old girl and Didn't know if I would make any friends. Wound up meeting Marco the first month, I think, of school. We were, I think, probably the two most annoying kids in intro econ. 600-person class, but I think we were disproportionately the question askers. So we were constantly raising our hands and offering unsolicited opinions on the markets.
I was like, we might as well just talk to each other since we like seem to be pretty aligned on this and pretty disaligned with everyone else. And so, yeah, this is how we started bouncing around ideas, like long philosophical conversations and all of that, like many of them around the markets. And at some point we realized that we should start something together.
I guess we've always known each other, and crypto happened to one of us and then eventually talked with the other guy.
We met in New York. We all used to work at Palantir. But at the time, like, we were, I think, maybe independently interested in crypto, but like didn't talk about it after we'd all left.
Nice. And how long have you been friends since you, like, before you decided to start Tazz?
I think we worked together, this is like 5 years ago?
2015.
15, oh wow,
Yeah.
5, so that's 8 years ago.
How's the other?
Same here.
Yeah. Still is.
We have been friends for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. We also did our last startup together. When it comes to, I guess, meeting co-founders or in general finding co-founders, this is something that a lot of new founders come and ask me. And the number one thing is you being able to completely trust your co-founder with the things that you yourself are not going to be able to do. You need to be able to just trust and rely on that person.
I met my co-founder when I was pitching him for a different company altogether.
I originally was a solo founder. One of my engineers I thought was really talented, gave him the honorary title, gave him a lot more equity. We actually met because, are you guys familiar with like the sneaker market? We used to build bots for like automating Supreme drops, like Nike stuff. And I'd known him for probably close to like 5 or 6 years. We'd never worked like directly on anything together until just now, so yeah.
We got to meet each other back in 2016. We are 3 co-founders. I was working for BCG, a consulting firm back then, and one of our clients was a large bank, and they wanted to find a way to self-disrupt, whatever that means. They got us on the BCG team, and they hired this team of, like younger, like software engineers and so on, to figure that out. And that's where Nico and Diego, my co-founders, were. We got together and worked in a concept that's called MAT in Latin America, in Chile specifically, that became the most successful fintech in the country at the time. So it was a very fun adventure. I think we had fun working together, and that's when I decided to, leave and start something new. I reached out to them. It took me some time to convince them, though. We started working together, let's say, early 2021, and we really didn't know exactly what we wanted to do back then. We knew that we wanted to work together. We knew that fintech was kind of the space that we wanted to be in, and that eventually led to Arch.
We are siblings, so we met each other for a long time. We have co-founded another company actually before, in 2018. This is the second company we run together.
I'm actually a solo founder, so I went to the best place possible myself.
Oh, my co-founder is my brother. I've been working with him since our very first company.
There were 3 of us, Vishal, Aiden, and I. Aiden and I were project partners at Berkeley, did all the computer science projects together, so a lot of long nights in the basement of Soda Hall. And Vishal and I worked together at Bridgewater.
We met in college. We were both international students and wanting to build infrastructure for the rest of the world. She was really interested in financial infrastructure. I was interested in telecom. Crypto was at its birth at that point, and we connected over that. And for years, we worked together. And when Blockcast came up with the idea, she was there, and we got started.
Nice. How many years did you guys know each other before building?
7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've known each other 10 years.
We met in San Francisco, and this is back when we still used to work at tech companies. I guess this is mostly for the San Francisco audience, but there was just like one underground club scene, and we happened to both be there. And you know how those nights go, and over a bunch of drinks, we ended up just bonding, becoming really good friends. This was well before even anything related to startups, but we were just in the same group, hanging out. He'd see me passed out after a long night, and we used to just go out all the time together and send memes to each other, and just stayed really good personal friends until I think maybe like 5 years later, we both ended up in crypto and then decided to start a company together.
So we were in a founder fellowship together. I was just looking through the directory of people that seemed smart, and I just messaged them on the Slack of the group. We just decided to work on something that's like completely not related to what we're doing now, just as like a side project for fun. I guess mostly to see how we work together and stuff like that, and validate a small scale idea.
So as of now, I don't have a co-founder. I've been looking for a co-founder for a long period of time. I've also done a few trials. Generally, I think it's quite difficult to find the right person, either because of timing, level of commitment, background, interest in your idea. But yeah, I'm technically still looking for a co-founder.